Have you ever driven in downtown Sacramento and had a really tough time finding a parking spot? Well, there are drivers out there who are cheating the system to park for free.
We're talking about handicap placard abusers. The driver takes someone else's placard and hangs it in their car for free parking around town. As Dina Kupfer explains, it is a growing problem in Sacramento.
Well, it's a growing problem because when it comes to handicap parking, the state of California has extremely liberal laws. And as you might imagine, people are taking advantage of this system. But as we saw firsthand, those people are getting caught. Excuse me, ma'am. We're with the news station.
I'd appreciate if I'm not on camera. I don't have anything to say, okay?
These women were not happy to see our News 10 camera. That's because they've just been stopped for breaking the law.
Oh yeah, here's one right here.
You can see them hanging from rearview mirrors. The problem, drivers who aren't handicapped taking advantage of the system, parking around town for free.
Just such rampant abuse.
City Parking Services Manager Howard Chan.
It's just a huge problem. It just keeps getting bigger every year.
Lincoln John.
It's a problem so big, the city of Sacramento has hired a team of undercover officers who roam the streets.
If you want to run this side, then okay.
Looking for offenders. We were there when officers spotted this woman. Did you understand that you weren't allowed to be using that placard, ma'am?
I issued her a citation. I explained to her that the registered owner of the placard has to be in the vehicle, being transported at the time that the placard's being used.
Within an hour, they found a second driver and moved in. Did you know that this was a misdemeanor offense?
She said that she had given her mother a ride to an appointment earlier and then took her home and then came back here, which is illegal. I think when they signed the ticket, that's when they realized what a big deal it is.
Each one of these parking placards represents a misdemeanor citation issued over the last 6 months for each of these drivers misusing the parking program. Nearly a dozen placard abusers are caught every month in Sacramento. So why should you care? Well, we're not talking about specific disabled parking spaces. Placard users are allowed to park in metered spaces for free, and they don't have to follow the time limits. Business owners say placards take up critical space in front of their shops, making it harder for you to find an open place to park.
Almost on a daily basis, there are a number of people that either call me or that stop by for goods and they say, "We love your place. I could come here every day, but just parking, it just doesn't do it for me."
This downtown business owner didn't want to appear on camera because she didn't want to offend anyone who properly uses their placard. But she is upset because nearly half of the on-street parking spaces in front of her shop are being used by cars with disabled placards.
We're left with less than half of the already limited amount of parking for people to either unload or just, pay a quarter or whatever to park for 5-10 minutes.
The city is taking these concerns very seriously. Drivers who get caught could face jail time of 6 months, but more likely you'll pay the steep fine of up to $3,500. And one woman who legitimately uses her placard has a message for the violators.
Don't misuse the place where somebody else that's handicapped need it bad.
City officials are working with members of the disabled community, business owners, and residents to find some solutions, and then they might then lobby the state to change the rules to make it a little harder to abuse that system.
Well, this is just such a frustration for people who really do need these placards. How easy is it to get one?
Well, unfortunately, it is fairly easy. As we saw in the story, many abusers are simply taking the placards from their relatives or friends, but others are actually going to their physician saying that they have a medical condition and essentially being issued a placard when they really don't need one. I actually spoke with a physician about that, and he says to solve this problem, there's going to need to be a tighter rules on the forms that doctors actually have to sign off on from the DMV.
All right. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, guys. Good program that clearly is being abused. We have the full interview with the doctor that Dina just mentioned. It includes his suggestions on what the DMV needs to do to fix the handicap placard abuse on news10.net. You can check it out.